Welcome to the Wealth Transfer News. Global economics, biblical principles, and protecting and preserving your family's wealth. Wait until you see the data we're going to show you on the real silver and gold inventories and some of the things in this country that you're probably not used to. So I'm Terry Saka, Chief Strategist. I'm along with Dr. Charles Vance. How you doing, Charles?
Good, Terry. You know, we've been starting the program the last 2 weeks by telling people your source of information is extremely important. Right. If you have the wrong source, then you're going to get the wrong information, and it can be very dangerous because what you continually hear is what you'll eventually believe. Wisdom is the ability to use knowledge. James says this in James chapter 3. He said, this wisdom, verse 14, he said, but if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth. This wisdom is not from above, but it is earthly, sensual, and devilish. And he said, where this envying and strife is, there's confusion.
Oh, bingo.
And every evil work. Now watch this. But he said the wisdom that is from above, that's wisdom from God. The ability to use knowledge coming from God. He said, first it's pure, then it's peaceable, gentle, easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, isn't that good? Without partiality and without hypocrisy.
Man.
Envy. I mean, what a mouthful.
It's beautiful, because you know what that just said to me? Envy and strife. What do the socialists, what are all these anarchist groups doing? They're envious because most of these people, the youth especially, they want free college. What are they? They're sniffing some kind of paint thinner. There's no such thing as free. You know, if something's free, what happens? The quality will go down. I mean, college already is pathetic teachings of the systems of the world. They don't even, you know, I know people that come out of college, they don't even know what the gold standard is. I know people that come out of college and they still couldn't tell you capitals on the map. I mean, it's just horrific, the teaching in college. I think the only thing good in college really is maybe some general business practice and maybe specify things like maybe doctors or scientists or something. But the thing is envy and strife.
There's such an atheistic undertone in the college and university systems. Is really, really sad right now.
Absolutely. And the atheistic is my point when it comes to the socialist. The socialist on Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is flat out. Now, maybe they didn't start that way, but her and Bill, all their friends, the people that they're associated with, are progressive liberals who are socialists at heart, meaning they want to control you and everything you do, but they want to keep what they keep. You see, they want to take from you and make you do something, but they want to be able to do what they want to do. Now, for instance, in the Hillary email scheme, I can't even believe it. The law clearly said you couldn't have an email server in your basement, and the FBI director tried to make it sound like, oh, I don't think she meant harm. Really? She was a former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. So she's either really stupid or she broke the law and knew it. And either way, she shouldn't be president, you see? So what they're doing is they're using that strife, envy. They're making the less fortunate in our nation envious of people who work. Now, the other side of it is tearing down the fabric of the Constitution because they want to rewrite the Constitution. They want to rewrite history, and they want this to be a communist nation, socialist nation. That's a fact. But the other side is what we call class warfare. They have been building up this strife. I love that scripture. Building up envy. What does the Bible say also about that? Do not covet. And then what does it cause? Strife. A.k.a. all the protests, the burning down, the shooting of police, and so forth. And so there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot going on here because we're going to get into some great data today showing you truth. And you want to talk about truth, Charles, this is going to be good stuff.
Absolutely. James said where there's envying and strife, and this just goes along with what you said, he says there's confusion and every evil work. See, it comes along with it. It's part of it. It's part of the results of it. And that's extremely dangerous. We've got to be people, again, that tap into godly wisdom, where there's no hypocrisy, where it's pure, where there's truth. And as we do that, we can actually make decisions concerning truth and it will make a difference in our life. When you make a decision concerning something that is hypocrisy, something that's a lie, it's going to cause destruction to come into your life. That'll be the result of it. The result of acting on truth is always a reward. Always. It's throughout history and throughout Scripture.
You know, that's great, because that'll just roll right into this then. Destruction. It'll bring destruction. Our financial system, for those that have stayed in the stock and bond market, they have not recovered much. Now, granted, maybe if you recovered most of what you had from 2008 loss, you didn't, because the dollar's buying power is destroyed. I mean, all we got to do is go look at the store, go shopping, right? Where those that have kept in silver since the '08 crash would have made like 400% return and such. Now, the truth, this is truth. Now, granted, since 2008, silver, yes, you would have made up to 400% if you bought down there at that time and sold off. And even today, it's still up a few 100% more than the 2008. So most people, they're not even remotely better off than they would have been, and they're still in paper world. That's why we're just such a watchman on continuing to trumpet this, because in what's coming, you will want tangible assets because no one's attached to it. And right now, we don't know who's going to fail, and believe me, there's going to be a lot of failing going on. Well, look at these inventories. Now, silver is stored in the COMEX. The COMEX is the exchange that controls it's supposed to be the commodity exchange, really, that controls the physical commodities market. This is not true anymore, of course, because paper derivative selling in the COMEX has made it just fake. Even though they do sell real products like corn and oil and gas and cotton and silver and gold, it's fake because they allow this liquidity in to short and naked shorts, and it's all derivative based. But look at the real inventory. And the reason I'm saying this, people don't realize how tight silver supplies really are. That price isn't indicating it. And I'm really glad. I know some people may not say that. Look, I own it. I want it to go high. Just be patient, because it's really about we in the kingdom, as a kingdom sense, getting protected in time. I don't want a lot of the kingdom to figure this out when it's too late, when they lose a lot of money in their fiat market accounts. I don't want them to have to buy $50, $60, $70 silver if they don't have to. You will if you don't do it in time, because you're going to find out you have no choice if you want to be protected. So look at this inventory. This is a phenomenal chart. This is the COMEX Warehouse registered gold stocks cover. And now I want you to see what this really means. Now, I'll forget the gold. Let me go to the next one. I want to stick with the silver because that's more stark. Let's go to that next one there. That one's better. This is the COMEX registered silver stock cover. Now, what I want to explain here, if you go to the third block down, that's known as registered silver stocks in the millions of ounces. If you've noticed, that blue line is literally down to almost zero. I mean, look at it in the corner. It's down to almost zero. So if you've noticed, silver inventories, meaning the actual physical available to deliver, is all throughout these generations, and it goes back to 2006, mind you, to the left and then over to the right is today. But look at since really about 2015, look at how much physical silver has left that warehouse. Now here's the other side of it. Look at the open interest on the bottom, the black line. That black line is open interest contracts for silver.
What's that mean?
Meaning people that have contracts to buy the physical silver in that exchange, but the blue line above says it's not there. Do you see a reckoning? I see a catastrophe. I'm almost contending that if they don't watch it, they're going to default. Now, you can take that off. I can't be any more clear on the facts of real physical supply than that. That's the actual COMEX. Mind you, Shanghai's on board. Shanghai in China now has a physical market, and they're here to battle the COMEX and London LBMA for pricing. But they're eating alive. The East is eating up physical silver and gold, and they're getting their fill. And they're getting their fill to the point when the inventories, you saw that line, I can't make that up. That's the real COMEX inventory. When that is down to nothing, you're going to see these prices explode because the Chinese are going to make sure of it. And so I'm just really saying the data is one thing. And the best part about it, that silver is our constitutional dollar and biblical. So let's get prepared. Check this out, get an education, and get serious enough, register for that information, give us a call, we'll look after you.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those of you who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you who have cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call our toll-free number or register on our website now.
Be proactive.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in.
No, I
here.
want you to, because I'm blown away what I just pulled up.
If you
here.
have an IRA, 401k, and you're leaving it set in the stock market, be good to yourself. Plan for your future and get into something that is tangible so that you'll know that you actually have something in your future when these papers go up in smoke.
Watch this. This next one, this is great. I was looking at it and I just couldn't believe. Look at this next image. This is actually the leverage of COMEX registered silver contracts to the actual physical supply that's in there. Check this out. This is astonishing. Now, on the left side is April of 2011. On the right is June right now, today. Now, I'm going to explain that. On the left side of this, you see the little tiny blue is 26 million ounces. That's actually the amount of physical silver that was in the vault at that time. But there were contracts out there only with 750 million ounces, right? Silver was at $49 at that time. Right now, today, on the right side, there's only 23 million ounces left in the vault, and there's 1,000 million ounces in contracts against it.
I noticed that on that last chart.
Right.
I just happened to catch
But
that.
here's this, check this out. You notice the silver price on the right today is 17. Now it's $20 right now, but when this was made, it's only $17, and yet it has almost 30%, 40% more contracts against a smaller supply.
Why is that? Are people smart enough to go ahead and try to buy?
They know the physical's not there, and they know, because if the price before was $49 at that equation, and yet on the right side the equation's even larger, it's only 17, you know it's a fake price. So I'm really saying silver, just going back to the high, for instance, the high where it was there, $49, today's price, that's 150% return. So for your IRA, that's $250,000. That would be worth what, $500,000, $650,000. That's wealth transfer, you see. So I'm just really trying to illustrate the power of constitutional money, First Amendment protected in our coin anyway, because it's 100% Judeo-Christian religious coin. So it's a First Amendment item. It's not bullion. We actually are hallmarked LBMA COMEX Shanghai 4.9 purity certification.
That's
so I'm just really giving
the highest purity that it can be refined.
Pretty much.
Is that
Some
right?
of them can do 5, which is very high. No one really can. 4.9 is almost what they call electronic grade because it's so pure. I mean, silver is used in everything. Electronics is used in everything you do.
Oh, I saw a show the other day.
Did you
that
silver?
There's a company in Canada that is taking old cell phones. I mean, they had warehouses full of them, and they were pulling just tiny amounts of silver out, and it was a thriving business.
Sure.
That they were refining. They were crushing these things, they were melting them down, they were pulling the silver out. I told Kelly, we were sitting watching that, my wife, I said, how in the world can that be worth that? And it's simply because the supply and demand is in a situation that they're going to have to recover everything they can.
And they know what's coming.
Sure.
They know of keep melting it down and saving it. That's what I'm trying to get at, we the people. We know what's probably going to happen. We don't know when. It doesn't matter. This isn't a day trade. This isn't a short-term thing. We've had some people, they bought it like $15 and then they sold it at 20, And they got excited like they made a profit, which they did. I mean, they made 50% profit. But I was like, this isn't a stock. You don't just buy and sell like that in that short period of time. It hasn't even done anything. So it's been up 50% from the low, but it hasn't done anything really, right? And so it's just knowing that this is something we buy and hold. It's for our retirement, for the future, for the inheritance to our children's children, because one day it's going extinct. My colleagues in the mining industry and refining industry say that at the pace of consumption for industrial demand, silver will go extinct in our lifetime if we're not raptured. So I know this is legitimate, and it's not about hyping up anything. We don't need to get into anything fancy, anything expensive, anything crazy. But I do like that First Amendment protected Judeo-Christian side of it, and I like the constitutional money. But here's why we know we're coming to a head economically. Beyond all the other data, there's some fresh stuff. Look at this. This is known as business inventories to sales ratio. Now, why this is important for us? Business inventories to sales means when inventories, meaning what's on the shelf, what's in the back room. Like if you go to a shoe store, how many shoes are in the back room, right? And we should put this up full so we can clearly see it. What that means is if you notice on the left there, that was back in the original first Shemitah, in 2001. Inventories hit at a high, and what happened? The pink line, crisis collapse. Then inventories went down because they stopped making things. When they stopped making things, everyone lost their job. That's why the economy collapsed. People lost their jobs, so then the inventories started selling off because they weren't producing anymore.
So money quit moving.
Money quit moving.
It quit exchanging hands.
Then it was at the bottom of the cycle in the middle there, they finally had burned through all the excess product that they made. So we started booming and making more product. Now, mind you, this is in the 2008 time frame. We made a huge amount of product. But what happened is, we all know what happened in 2008. The markets collapsed, right?
Sure.
We had raised such an inventory at that time. Look how skyrocketed it went straight up. Because people were laid off, we lost our jobs, people were fired, they stopped producing. Money stopped moving, companies were laying off, we stopped producing, people were losing their homes. Inventory skyrocketed in 2008. That's the result of the economic collapse. Now, we burned through, if you notice, we burned through the inventory again. Well, look at on the right side. It's climbing.
Building the inventory back up.
Because they're building the inventory back up because the economy's bad. As we were showing you, nobody's buying things. The products are sitting on the shelf, as you see. That is sitting on the shelf right there. We're already almost as high as 2001 and ready to hit that 2008 marker. This is so paramount as truth to the economics. Companies are producing products and goods, but they're sitting on the shelf, which means nobody's buying them. There is going to be something coming because this says so. And this isn't all of it. I mean, there's more things to do, right? I mean, look at this next one, for instance. This is a good one, too. Now, I just want to say that these are economic data points that you can't argue with. We don't know the exact timing of it, but we don't have to know. I would rather get prepared now and have peace of mind so I can go to sleep and not have to think about it. Because we have to keep this in perspective. If the economy is globally, not just the United States, if Deutsche Bank goes down in Germany, which I contend it is, if Deutsche Bank goes down, the largest bank in Germany, it will be larger than the Lehman Brothers Bear Stearns in 2008 in the United States. And you want to talk about a domino. So it's just a matter of time, whether it's Italy, Germany, whatever the catalyst is. I believe it was England that started it. I think they're going to give that as the excuse. They're going to blame it on the English for leaving the Union. Good for them, by the way. But on the heels of that, we got this social pressure. We have these anarchists, revolutionaries. I would have supply of food to share and for myself. All you have to do is add hot water. I would even have heirloom seeds because it's simple, it's cost effective, they're reasonable, and you can grow food even in a bucket in your apartment. So the point is, it's good stuff, and at least have something to be prepared. Check this out.
Cornerstone Asset Metals has focused on using gold and silver reserves to protect your assets from volatile currencies. Another hard asset that is just as important for your sustainability is food. We believe that preparation is a key to being successful in an unstable economic environment. So we launched Heaven's Harvest, heirloom seeds and emergency food just for you. The Bible tells us that Joseph used the resources of Egypt to prepare for a global famine by storing up food in a time of plenty. His preparation not only preserved the lives of his family, but many others as well. At Cornerstone, we believe the time is now to re-examine this biblical lesson so that you and your family can be prepared for any disaster, job loss, food shortage, or economic instability. You can start preparing today by visiting our website, cornerstoneassetmetals.com, or calling 1-888-747-3309. Call now, 1-888-747-3309.
Be responsible, use wisdom, make right decisions, and don't put it off. Do something good today so that you'll have a good future. Really important.
I know you're not laughing because we feel bad because we're laughing sometimes, but it's because the data is so overwhelming, and we know this.
And people
we just care
many times, and they don't do anything.
And I know Charles always made this point for those that have watched the program a lot. If you're going to the movies, you're eating, you're going out to dinner once in a while, then you don't think about it. Most people don't even know it's in their 401k or IRA. They don't even know what's invested in. Mm-hmm. And then when the 08 market collapsed, it lost half the value, and they wondered why. The only people really coming through Cornerstone in the last handful of years have been people waking up with dreams. People that have been spiritually just nailed, do something now. I want the kingdom to get it. Because if the kingdom gets this, we are here for the next level. And that's what I'm talking about. The reckoning's coming either way. Because it's all about buying power. Does this buy you anything? Does it? No. Not really, right? I mean, it buys a lot less. I mean, we all know we're going shopping, we buy food, goods and services, clothing. Oh my gosh, cheap clothes just fall apart in the machine. I mean, real good stuff costs a lot of money because it's called inflation. Because they're printing so much of this, it's worth nothing, really. And buying power. I want to show this chart. This is called shelter inflation. I call stealth inflation too. And here's the thing. You go to Walmart, you can buy a blender. It's probably about the same price as a really high-end blender in the old days, Westinghouse. Those old blenders would last 20 years. They were like steel. They were great. Well, the blenders today are just garbage. They're plastic, made in China, and they break after a year or two, and you have to buy a new one. If you want a real quality blender, you have to spend about $300-400 to buy Vitamix. That's what you used to spend on to buy $30 back in the day, you see. That's called stealth inflation. Many of you notice your potato chip bag has less chips, same bag. Ice cream container, less ice cream. It's all the same. Stealth inflation, meaning they're cheapening the product so to keep the price the same so you don't notice that it's actually worth less. Look at this chart. This is called shelter inflation, year-over-year changes. On the left side there, it was the 90s. We had pretty kind of high inflation. We all know what happened back then. But then things started coming down. Prices were moderate and kind of mellowed out. In the middle there, where you see the big drop spike, that was the 2008 collapse. When the 2008 collapse happened, we had a big thing called deflation. In that deflation, prices collapsed because nothing was moving, right? Mm-hmm. Well, look at since 2008 how prices have risen, inflation prices. That's staggering. On the right side there, don't tell me that there's no inflation. And so everything they're telling you in the media is a lie. That's the real inflation number. We have had a staggering increase of inflation year over year. So you can take that off. And here's another one that a lot of people don't understand is coming. It's housing. Hate to tell you, this is housing data in the major markets in the United States. A lot of that money that was going into housing since the 08 collapse was foreign money with fake printed currency that they were trying to escape from their country with to buy these assets, tangible assets. Chinese and them are smart. There's not many Americans doing it, by the way. So check this out. This is housing data. Atlanta, I'm talking, this is the big ones. Atlanta, Dallas, Boston. But look at the peaks. You notice that the one peak on the left and the peak on the right? The peak on the left is 2006. We all know that, right? That was the peak of the last financial or mortgage crisis, housing values, right? Look at the peaks on the right. That's right now. So whatever you have in value your house or real estate right now, what it's saying is it's getting ready to hit again, if this proven to be accurate in the charting. Meaning housing is overblown, it's getting ready to flip. Meaning prices are getting ready to come back down, credit's going to freeze, so it's just a preparatory moment, if anything else. And I want to show this again real quick because this is U.S. and Canada mine supply versus total fabrication. This is phenomenal. Bar and coin demand on the left side in blue. In blue is bar and coin demand. So in 2001, we only had 177 million ounces as demand for silver bars and coins. Today, 307 million demand. Yet in red, which was the net deficit, we are 300 million deficit in silver inventories today. And yet look at the mine supply. On the left, 96 million ounces in 2001. And yet today, only 47. We only have half of the supply mining out of the mines. Staggering. One more quick one. Mine supply versus investment deficit. 2001 versus 2015. All I can tell you is we are mining far less, people are buying more, and the deficit is staggeringly red. So just know, this is the real deal. Buy it now while it's cheap. Protect your assets, your 401ks, churches, ministries. Get out of the banking system. Don't get caught up in the bail-ins and all the rules that are coming down the pipeline. So until next week, get wisdom and may God bless you.
You know, you can watch these programs on demand at cornerstoneassetmetals.com or Cornerstone News.
No,
wealthtransfernews.com.
That's
sorry.
right.
And you can watch these programs next week. Be sure to join us right here for more of the Wealth Transfer. See you then.
Are you concerned about the security of your financial future? Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you prepare for the extraordinary times ahead by protecting and preserving your assets through silver and gold. At Cornerstone, the protection and preservation of your investment is our first goal. So we are here to serve you with honesty, transparency, and respect. Take control of your future by registering on our website at cornerstoneassetmetals.com or call us toll-free at 888-747-3309. Call now, 888-747-3309. At Cornerstone, securing your future is our goal.